Now we've all been trying to solve this puzzle for a while now. What do chemtrails, the swine flu vaccine, the swine flu itself, and the depopulation plans in the New World Order all really have to do with each other? Nobody's really put together this puzzle with a coherent theory. We haven't had a unified, coherent theory that just explains the reasoning behind all of this until recently. And I'm not going to take credit for this theory. I'm just passing along information that got passed to me. So hopefully you'll listen to this with an open mind. I'll start this off by giving a little background on what a cytokine storm is. Now, a cytokine storm is the basic killing element of any highly deadly virus that kills quickly, whether it's the 1918 pandemic, which was a version of swine flu, SARS, or H5N1 bird flu. These all kill using a cytokine storm. Now, cytokine storms have some unique characteristics, and I'll get into that in a minute. But what a cytokine is, from my understanding, now I'm not a doctor, but from my understanding it's a little like cell inside your body, and what it does is activate all your immune cells. So it starts activating T cells, and if a cytokine's going nuts, as a result, the T cells are going to start going nuts and attacking everything. So your immune system basically starts attacking your own body, and that's what causes massive hemorrhaging and very fast deaths. In the 1918 pandemic, it's been reported that people felt fine in the morning, and by the afternoon they were dead with blood coming out of their eyeballs and all that. So a cytokine storm is not a good thing. And another unique characteristic of a cytokine storm is that it affects mostly people with healthy immune systems. And the reason behind this is that, as the Wikipedia article here states, a cytokine storm is a potentially fatal immune reaction consisting of a positive feedback loop. Now, note the word feedback. Think of this like feedback into a microphone. It starts off soft, but it just starts building on itself until it'll bust your eardrums, you know? So if you have the volume turned down, like an old person with a weak immune system, this feedback loop isn't going to take place. But if you're a strong person with a strong immune system, the stronger your immune system is, the stronger it's going to hurt itself. The more power it has, the quicker that feedback loop's going to start. And at that point, you're really screwed. This brings me to the article in question. A YouTube viewer was kind enough to forward me to this page, and at first I thought this guy might be a little wonky, and he very well may be, but a lot of his analysis is just dead on. This is kenwelsh.com with a dash in it. Apparently he's from Houston. I don't know much about him, although he claims to have been researching this phenomenon for the last 10 years with chemtrails, the pandemics. He's been watching this since around 2000, so he has a lot of knowledge on this. Now I'm going to cut to his analysis on how this puzzle fits together with the swine flu vaccines, the swine flu itself, the chemtrails that have been sprayed for the last 10 years, and the depopulation agenda of the New World Order. So I'm just going to read verbatim for a minute. The puzzle they cannot solve is why the Western governments are so adamant about getting people to actually take the shots. Most of us understand that these big vaccine campaigns are simply money-making programs for big pharma, third in the pantheon of corporate players that own and operate virtually all Western governments. But does it make sense this time? After all, these vaccines are already paid for. They could be dumped in a landfill and the manufacturers wouldn't care at all. Here's the important part. He says, the secret purpose of the swine flu vaccine is not obvious until you fully understand what the vaccine does, and you must combine that information with the understanding that the real pandemic is just around the corner. Now, I'm sure we could all agree that the novel form of H1N1 is not a huge killer. I mean, it can cause cytokine storms in a very small percentage of people, and it can be deadly, but as a whole, it's actually less deadly than a normal flu strain. So he says he just came across this information a couple of days ago when he was sent part of the Blaylock Wellness Report by Dr. Russell Blaylock. Now here's what Russell Blaylock, a medical doctor, has to say about the situation. No one should take the swine flu vaccine. It is one of the most dangerous vaccines ever devised. It contains an immune adjuvant called squalene MF59, which is shown to cause severe autoimmune disorders such as MS, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus. This vaccine adjuvant that is strongly linked to Gulf War syndrome, which has killed over 10,000 soldiers and caused a 200% increase in the fatal Lou Gehrig's disease. This swine flu virus kills by causing a cytokine storm, which means that it causes the body's immune system to overreact, and that is why it is killing young people, and it is a mild disease in the elderly. The elderly have weakened immune systems. This vaccine is a very powerful immune stimulator and carries the real possibility of making lethality of the virus that much greater. What Dr. Blaylock is saying is that the squalane MF59 adjuvant is actually a really powerful immune system booster. It stimulates it. And normally this would be a good thing. But if a cytokine storm starts to occur, a boosted immune system is really bad because it's just going to attack itself that much harder. So he believes even with the novel form of H1N1, which isn't very deadly, he believes that the H1N1 vaccines will actually cause an increased risk in cytokine storms. And Welsh also has his analysis on it. He says, what Dr. Blaylock is saying is that the vaccine will greatly boost the cytokine storm effect, increasing the chance that people will die from the silly swine flu virus before the vaccine can kill it off. He doesn't realize that the disease with 20 times the cytokine effect is just around the corner. At the beginning of this article, Welsh claimed that he only started to research this phenomena because in 1998 chemtrails started, and it was initially linked to a banned pesticide called ethylene dibromide. Now he continues, populations of all Western nations practicing socialized welfare systems, like the U.S., have already had their ability to shut down the cytokine storm greatly impaired by 6 to 10 years of chemtrail spraying. Now the part of your immune system that produces the cytokine storm is put in hyperdrive by the swine flu shot. Then when the real killer virus comes along in December or January, your chances of survival are going to be poor. So this is his theory. They've been spraying the chemtrails for the last 10 years to reduce your body's ability to fight the cytokine storm effect. Then they boost the cytokine storm effect by putting the adjuvants in the H1N1 vaccine. Then the real killer comes along, real killer virus that produces a lot of the cytokine storm effect, and the puzzle's complete: depopulation. Now Welsh finished his analysis with this, and I couldn't say it any better. No wonder Homeland Security has spent thousands of man-hours trying to locate sites for mass burials. Those folks are not stupid. They know what is coming. You, on the other hand, are assumed to be both stupid and powerless. And I advise everybody to look at the videos of the millions of cheap, disposable coffins that have been made by Fema in the last few years.